Hey, hey, this is Dee with Divine Needle. How's it going? It's been a week since I've done a reading, and it feels like it's been months. It's very bizarre. Don't understand why that feels that way, but it does. This reading is for the collective. We have Jupiter getting ready to go stationary on the 20th and retrograde on the 22nd. Back into Aquarius. Now this starts in Pisces and it's going to backtrack into Aquarius. And so this is going to be a reading about that scenario, what it means for all of us. And I'm going into some detail here. I'm not understanding why, but I was guided to really look at this hard the 20th through the 22nd. I guess we'll understand why as we unwrap this. So I'm going to unwrap what I can. If I miss things, that happens. You all might catch things I don't notice. Remember, you're gifted as well. Many of you are unaware of your gifts, but you all are gifted. So we're going to start with looking at my desktop and the Sabian Mysteries pictures, pictorials, so that you can see what we're looking at for those days. So here we go. Desktop. All right. This is the Sabian Mysteries for the 20th. The First Mockingbird in Spring is the title. You see a lone figure here walking and a bird that appears to be not flying through the air, but grounded. I feel like that's the energy of many of us. You also see a hand coming up here in the bottom of the picture. It almost feels like that's blocking. Okay, birds equal angels symbolically. And this almost feels like somebody holding back or blocking communication between this lone figure, and the bird. That hand, that could be a mental block going on with you all. Blocking your communication with your team. That blocking can be caused by wounding. It can be caused by a lot of unresolved things in your life. And I don't understand why they sent me down that path, but they have. It's really interesting because these pictures, I see so much more. It's really weird because you see a shadow of a person here, a cloaked figure with two eyes. There's the eyes, one here, one here. Yeah, it looks like somebody wearing a cloak. It's really weird because when I get visions, a lot of times they'll be layered over the top of other things, much like remote viewing. Kind of think of it as a very light impression into your, it's hard to describe unless you've had it happen, you won't know. But there's a lot going on in the background of this. And it's like this one's trying to communicate with this one, but there's been a block. And it's weird because I personally am experiencing some sort of block going on. It could be because of the planetary alignments right now, possibly, and not just, I just heard mental blocks. Mental blocks. All right. So, I've been doing some breathing exercise, pranayama, and meditating. And I was going to do that prior to doing this video. I think what I'll do is I'll go through these Sabian Mysteries pictures. I will pause this recording. I will do that meditation and see if it gives me anything additional, like these images in the background. Like with meditation, you'll get these images, right? Those of you that practice will understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, the next Sabian Mysteries, so this would be the 21st, it's titled Bathing Beauties, but I'm looking at 4 women, all joined, arm in arm. Notice the one on the end's got their hand up, and this one has their hand down. It feels very, as above, so below. Notice this one's wearing a dress. This one's wearing a much tighter, form-fitted, like swimming suit, and a hat. She's the only one with a hat on. It almost feels like a greeting coming from some others maybe you haven't communicated with yet. Like a team. It's a team. And then on the 22nd, we have this. And that's the day that Jupiter comes out of being stationary and goes retrograde. And we have a picture of a ship and a white flag on the ship. Now, a lot of times I'll pick up, notice that the winds, these sails are full, so the wind is definitely blowing the flag straight out. The winds of change I just heard. This could represent an actual incoming ship of some sort. We'll have to see what the reading tells us. A vessel. The wind in our sails. So it feels like we're going from being very solitary in our energy and blocked to those ones that were blocked. See the ones in the shadows back here? These women in the shadows? This one with the cloak on? No longer blocked from them here. No longer blocked. To full on air in the sails. Okay. And I just heard full steam ahead. Okay. So I'm going to do that meditation and then I'll come back and finish this. I think it's important. So I'll do that. I meant to do that before I started this recording, but I will just pause the recording and come back to you all. Okay. Meditation complete. Back to this. All right. So what I was feeling here from this, this is like somebody solitary and blocked, not being able to see clearly. And then this represents that image, that ghost image in the back coming to the surface, being able to see it with clarity, vivid, not full color, but at least much more clearly. And then the day of retrograde of Jupiter, we have set sail on a new course. So a new course for many of us. Plotting a new course, I just heard. It's funny because when I was doing the meditation, I kept seeing what felt like the sun and solar flares. Don't know if that has anything to do with this. I guess we'll find out when the time gets here. We've had a very extraordinary spring and entry into summer here. We went from 50-degree rainy weather straight into record-breaking temperatures of over 100 degrees in June in the middle of the U.S. That's very unusual. It's an unusual year. We all must admit we've had some very unusual times of late. Anyway, so I think that's how we hash out the Sabian mysteries. Let's see. We have a full moon coming up on the 24th in Sag. I was glad to see that because it looked like it was going to be in Scorpio. And then I was like, no, 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 no. It'll be in Sag. And it's correct. So be looking for that a couple of days after this retrograde. But what's interesting to me, see, we have Jupiter going retrograde. It goes stationary on the 20th in Pisces, and it retrogrades back into Aquarius, and it'll be there through October 18th. It'll be retrograde. And then October 18th, it'll go direct again in Aquarius and make its way back into Pisces on January 1st. What a weird day for that to happen, right? On the 1st of 2022. We have a full solar eclipse on December 4th coming up. I'm sure that has a lot to do with what's going on right now. It's kind of the big finale. And then January 1st, Jupiter goes direct. Wow. Right now we have a ton of planets in retrograde, including Saturn in Aquarius right now. We have Mercury retrograde in Gemini in its home sign. And Neptune. Shortly after Jupiter goes retrograde, Mercury and Jupiter are doing a weird handoff because Mercury is retrograde right now. And Jupiter goes stationary starting tomorrow, the 20th. And in that time frame, as it goes stationary, just as it goes retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, just as that happens on the 22nd, Mercury goes stationary, getting ready to go back direct. It's almost like a handoff happening, Like Mercury is communicating with Jupiter and there's a handoff happening. That, in my deepest, deepest parts, knows that's what's going on there. And then we have the full moon in Sag on the 24th. And the very next day, the 25th, Neptune will go retrograde. So that means Neptune will be probably stationary during that full moon in Sagittarius. It goes retrograde June 25th, and it'll be there till December 1st, right before that full solar eclipse. And of course, Pluto is retrograde in its home sign of Capricorn until October 6th. So big things going on. And Lilith is direct all year. And we got another retrograde of Chiron on July 15th coming up, but we'll look at that later. But tons of retrograde happening right now. Tons. And Venus will go retrograde December 19th after that full solar eclipse. And she'll stay that way till January 1st in Capricorn, where Pluto happens to be retrograde right now. And then, of course, January 1st is when Jupiter goes back direct. So Venus and Jupiter doing some interesting things on January 1st. Mars too. January 1st seems to be a big day because Saturn shows up too. So January 1st of 2022 is a really big day and something I will definitely be doing a reading on. Because look at all these things happening that day. Either that or they're just indicating the end of this year and the retrogrades could be. I'll double check that. See, yeah, that's because this ends in January 1st, 2022. Okay, that explains that. So basically, I need to change the dates on that to know for sure what's going on there. But anyway, so what we're focusing on right now is Jupiter, because it's retrograding back into Aquarius. And let's see, was there anything else I wanted to point out? Okay, this is the 22nd. So this is the day that Jupiter, right here, goes retrograde in Pisces. And see, Mercury goes stationary that day. So that's like the handoff in Gemini. And then we have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and the node in retrograde. And Mercury just coming out of retrograde. So, and one thing I wanted to point out that stuck out to me is the planets that are in retrograde are all in sequential signs of Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn. It's funny because one of the readers, Divine Debut 11, she did a reading and it was, I think it was the Earth signs, and she pulled up the winter card. And it was talking about winter, which is interesting because this time frame right here is during the cold parts of the year. I mean, we don't have December in there, but we do have January, February, March in here. Well, I guess the very end of December is here too with Capricorn. So that means something. The other thing I find interesting is Uranus, Gaia, heaven, 13 degrees in Taurus, the number of the goddess, 13 degrees, and is no longer in lockstep with Chiron, the wounded warrior, at 12 degrees in Aries. That's a big deal for the Aquarius collective out there, because that means the goddess 13, Gaia, heaven, Uranus, is no longer wounded. The wounding's over. And the other thing I want to point out here is this kite. See this kite going between the moon, Neptune, or Pluto, Neptune, and Venus. It's like a kite, and it makes a cross through here with the moon and Neptune and Pluto and Venus. This perfect cross going on through that kite. The wind in our sails. They just told me that again. The wind in our sails. New direction. Okay. I get what they're laying down now. Okay. New direction for the planet. This is for the collective. A whole new path. Wow. I'm getting tingles. Ooh. Anyway, all these retrogrades happening in the winter signs. And her pulling that winter card during the earth signs reading spoke to me. It made me pay attention. I snapped to and was like, ah, well, all this retrograde's happening right here in this part of the zodiac. Wow. Except for Mercury. Mercury's over here in its home sign, right here. 16 degrees, Gemini. Okay? And it'll be stationary, just sitting there. The handoffs happened. Okay. So we're going to do a reading now. Go back to the desk. And we're going to see what they have to tell us. These are the decks that they wanted me to pull out. So that's what I pulled out. I did that before I meditated. So if there's some change-ups, we'll find out. I also played some Om chanting at 417 hertz to help with unblocking blocks. And it's interesting because that Sabian Mysteries picture, that first one, felt like blocks, blocked from the communication. But we're not going to be blocked any longer. Okay, so let's get on with the cards. Which ones do you want first? This is first, okay. So I'm going to pull these down out of the way and work on this. Okay. Focus, focus, focus. Camera. At least there's enough light in here right now, so that's helpful. All right. So this is about Jupiter going retrograde on the 22nd. This time frame between the 20th, 22nd. What does that mean for the collective? What do you need to tell us for the collective? Earth magic. Nice. Earth magic. Magic time. The cosmic dance, I just heard. See, it's like the energy coming from the cosmos spinning down into the planet. See how these stars are spinning down and embedding into the soil. Up on our tiptoes. Okay, that's a card 1, by the way. New beginnings, new direction. 1. Seeing beyond. There's those stars. They're all embedded in our heads now. See how half the face is in the light? That's really standing out to me. And the star in the eye, it's like this eye is seeing the future. And this eye's in the current. 36. 36, 9. 36, 9. Key to the universe. The key to the universe. It's funny because when I was a kid, they were working with me on 369. That got me IQ tested in first grade because of me working with the number 9 particularly. Every number from 0 to 9 is in the number 9. Every number. And you're going to go, how is that? How can that be? Because 9 and 0 go to each end. 0 and 9 is 9. 1 and 8 is 9. 2 and 7 is 9. 3 and 6 is 9. 4 and 5 is 9. It's all about 9. Nine and 1 is a 10. Completion and new beginnings. New direction. Setting sail. Storyteller. The key. 17 breaks down to an 8. See how that key looks like it fits in the center of that book? See how the stars are just kind of flowing across here and back down into the pin? Writing a new story. It's a new direction. And number 25. That's a 7. Birds of a feather. Telling the new story to everybody else about this new direction. Communicating. It's interesting because the writing part, I'm working with, me personally, working with my team, and it involves actually writing a great deal. So perhaps some additional communication coming together and sharing it with birds of a feather. Okay, so put that up for now, that deck. Okay, guys, which deck's next of these 3? Which one? They got me dead zoomed in on this one. Heaven and Earth. Heaven and Earth's next. So I'll set this to the side for now. Set this up here. Don't know if we're going to need them or not. I pulled them up earlier. We'll find out. I'm going to move these up a little bit. All right. Jupiter retrograde. The handoff with Mercury. What does this energy mean for the collective, please? Abandon success and temperance. Abandon success. This is change of direction. That's that ship setting a new course. A new course. And that new course is down this road. See how she's heading off? That new course. Mixing the cups of hope and faith. Wow. Wow. Look at the repetitive thing going on here. With the star behind her head. And the circle between her eyes. That's very connected to the upper realms, the birds of a feather. Anyway, off on this new path. Off on this new path. And this path is here, leading to where we need to go. And we're mixing the cups of hope and faith. And she's very firmly balanced in the water of intuition and grounded into the earth, her feet. But temperance means kind of patience, a slowdown, basically, a slowdown in this path, and being able to stir those cups and be the alchemist, pulling the cups of hope and faith back and forth, churning the waters. This is all about our intuition and being able to intuit what they're trying to tell us and show us, many of us. Okay, what else does this Jupiter retrograde coming up? What does this mean for the collective? Another major arcana. Judgment, heeding a higher calling. Judgment is kind of like the Two of Pentacles. It's weighing up. It's also heeding a higher calling. See Gabriel tooting the horn, right? Everybody rising up. The resurrection energy, new directions, new path for everybody. Notice that we have Saturn here, we have Mercury here, we have Jupiter here, and we have Pluto here. Pisces, Sagittarius, and Scorpio. Now that's November, December, and January. No, December, January, and March. Anyway, heeding a higher calling. Six through 9. 8 through 10. Heeding a higher calling, a new path. What else does the collective need to know about Jupiter retrograde? Two of Cups. No, the Lovers. Another major arcana. Another major arcana. Pushing these down. And another major arcana. So Jupiter going retrograde evidently is a big deal. The new path. This card is known as the choice, but it feels like this is churning up the waters, and the water's coming up. See the resurrection, the water's pulling up and then spilling out and over. See the 2 cups, she's got them. She's pulling them up and then spilling them out and over, back down. The cosmic energy coming in, pulling it down. We're pulling heaven to earth. And it's all about the water. Water and earth. Jupiter going retrograde. This is all about watering the earth with celestial knowledge. And then we have the World card. So Jupiter going retrograde ends a cycle. Notice we've got Aquarius, Capricorn, and Saturn here, and a cross right above it. The ancient ruler, Saturn. The timekeeper, Kronos. With a cross right above it. Aquarius symbol. The one in the middle is Aquarius. Because everybody that thinks that that's a man, it's not. It's a woman. And Yaldabaoth, the eagle, the bull, and the lion. Yaldabaoth, Sophia, and Yaldabaoth. Becoming the emperor. The end of a cycle of control. The emperor is a control card. It's father energy. It's you know, it's the card of Aries. So big completion of a cycle of control. Letting go of control. All right. And ushering in creativity. It's a match set. The Emperor and the Empress. They wanted me to see that. Moving the cards over slightly so we can get her in there, because she definitely... So ending that cycle and starting a new path for the Emperor and the Empress. A matched set. Wow. Fire and earth energy. So we're going from water earth energy to fire. So we're going from this information we get pulled down from the heavens, integrating it, then setting this new course with the energy of fire and earth, grounded fire. Grounded fire. Wow. Control and creativity. Creation energy. Control. Father and mother energy. Wow. That's pretty profound. Okay. Wow, Jupiter. Bringing it. Jupiter's bringing it with this retrograde. They don't seem to want me to use Spirit Keepers. Why not? They want my teeny tiny deck. The teeny tiny tarot. Teeny tiny. Steampunk tarot. We're going to get clarifiers, even though I don't think we need them. But we're going to. For fun. Yes, we are. Let me set the Osho Zen off to the side. I don't know if they're going to want that one either. Abandoned success. Heading out. We're going to be scaling new heights in a new direction. Change of course. This is these two. The Emperor and the Empress. Ending a cycle and beginning anew. A new course. Clarify the Lover's card. Clarify the Lover's card. Looks like the Emperor and Empress are going to be... And it landed right on the Lover's card. Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. It's interesting because this Nine of Wands, the guy standing here, this is why they wanted me to use this deck. No wonder. See how he's looking through a periscope or little eyeglass, like he's looking out to the future? So some sort, this couple looking out to the future. And what did they see? The world. Clarify the world card, please. Clarify the world card. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Okay. Looking out into the future. Oh. This is very much, this feels like what I have personally been working on. Some of you may be doing the same thing right now. I'm trying to see what the future holds specifically and seeing through behind the curtain. Seeing behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz. Looking behind that curtain. Exploring. This page is more about education and learning earthly stuff. looking behind the curtain. All right, I'm going to clarify the Emperor and the Empress together as a pair, as a set. Can you clarify the Emperor and the Empress? Clarify the Emperor and the Empress. Okay. Incoming messages. Clarifies incoming energy. 8 of Wands. Incoming messages. Control and creative energy. Mother and father energy. Incoming messages. So when they look out to the future, when you do this, it's going to unlock some things. So you can see behind the curtain. So you're going to be looking into the future, seeing behind the curtain. And you will get these messages coming in. And what will the Emperor and Empress be doing with those messages or with the incoming energy? Page of Swords. Being watched on the internet. Also just heard scaling new heights. See how there's a balloon in the background? Scaling new heights. Page of Swords. Messenger of air. So they're going to bring these messages to the internet, evidently. What they find out here. Anything further on the Emperor and Empress? What are they doing with this incoming energy? The Emperor and Empress. What are they doing with this incoming energy besides bringing it to the internet? They just told me I asked the wrong question. I'm asking the wrong question. Asking the wrong question. Okay. What is the result of them bringing this message to the birds of a feather? What's the result? And now they want spirit keepers. The result. What's the result of bringing this message? The Emperor and the Empress. What's the result of them bringing this message? What's the result of bringing this message? The result of the Emperor and the Empress bringing this message. What's the result of them bringing this message? Okay, the kindred and the erudite. There's the kindred right there, birds of a feather. Celebrating. Erudite, card of Virgo. Celebrating. This is the deep dive. This feels like the deep diver. See the triangles? Bringing the light of the star, these stars, bringing that energy to the birds of a feather. Celebrating with the birds of a feather. Because evidently whatever this is that they get told that they're going to bring is a big deal and something to celebrate. The hermit does a deep dive to come out with the light of the stars to guide others with wisdom. Something that these two are going to learn. And they're going to bring it very quickly to the internet, the birds of a feather. What's the message? What's the message? That's what we're missing here. What's the message? Okay, Osho's end for that. Shining dew on the bottom. The Earth King of Pentacles, was on the bottom when I picked it up. Hasn't been touched since the last time I did the reading with it. So you guys know that card was in the reading prior. Okay. Osho's end. So, what's the message that we're bringing? What's the message? What's the message the Emperor and the Empress are going to be bringing? Understanding. There's those birds. There's those birds again. There's those birds again, meeting up. The ones above and below. What's the message? Having a full understanding of the big picture. The full story. Okay. The full story. Full understanding of the story. That's the reason I ended up dropping that card where I did on the thing, because it's about the story. Some sort of full understanding of the big picture somehow. It's interesting because everybody's got their take on what the truth is, right? Including myself. Whose truth is the right one? Okay. One bird meeting with the other birds. See, this bird's in a cage. I remember the Sabian Mysteries picture that... Let me go back to that. I'll go back to that. That first one. The grounded bird right there. There's the grounded bird that feels like it's being blocked. And then we have this card, the caged bird. And other birds coming, trying to help break them out of the cage. This is about the reincarnation grid, I have a feeling. Because it was hijacked. And being used for something other than what its purpose originally was intended for. To enslave you all. This is a rescue mission. Messages about the rescue mission. The true story. Wow. I'm blown away. It's the rescue mission. The bird in the cage. The one that's grounded. That's you all. And more. toi et moi. It's funny because my girlfriend and my husband and I were talking about toi and moi just the other day. How funny. Okay. Messages about a rescue mission. We're going to be able to see behind the curtain, and we'll be able to tell you guys what's up. What's going down? Gabriel's waiting for the directive. It's interesting. Gabriel's giving the directive. Blowing the horn. New direction. Wow. Okay. Anything else that you guys want me to pull? Nope. Okay. Nope it is. So this is the reading concerning Jupiter going into retrograde after the handoff with Mercury. And what we can expect from that. So new direction, incoming messages, being able to see through behind the curtain about the soul trap, the birds, the grounded birds in the cage that have been blocked from the rest of their family. A rescue mission of some sort. But there will be incoming messages to the Emperor and the Empress about what this is, and we're supposed to convey that to the grounded birds. All right. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. And that message is about the mission. Wow. All right. Profound reading I wasn't expecting. I had no idea what Jupiter retrograde had to do with, or what I've been set out, my new task. Sorry, I've been gone for a week. Lots of redirection happening on our end with the Emperor and the Empress. Total change in schedules all over the place. Yeah, it's been major redirect. This is, this card, the walking away from what you previously built in a whole new direction. That's that ship. So, yeah, I've been very heavily delving into my psychic abilities and also a lot of occult knowledge, along with some other things. I won't go into detail, but it does have to do with writing. Some of it's to do with writing. Okay, so there you go. That's what it means. Jupiter going retrograde. It's it doesn't look like anything but good news to me. Anyway, I'm going to try to continue with the readings I do in the mornings for each day for the collective. But I don't know how successful that's going to be because my focus is very much on something else right now. But I'm going to try to do that and continue with that because you guys need to know what's going on. Because these planetary alignments, these retrogrades that are happening, the dates, big stuff, big stuff. And you guys being in the know is necessary. So I'll do what I can. So if you don't see readings here and there, don't be shocked. But I'll definitely do readings when they tell me do a reading like this one. They told me to do this. Get it done. So here I am. Because they needed you to know this. They needed you to know. They needed me to know too. But I'm already in this process and more over into going this way. now. I've already been through here, going through here, okay? That's where my energy is. I don't know where you guys are. Depends on your timeline, but this feels really set in stone because it's about Jupiter retrograde. So timeline is now. Seeing beyond through the illusion behind the curtain. See? You see him behind that curtain. There's the wizard. Oh, the inner workings of the holodeck, the matrix, the world card, right? Seeing behind that curtain. Heck yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one. Sorry I haven't been gone for a week. I should have explained. But when you get, I get so caught up in what I'm doing that it's very hard to pull away from it. But they made me do that to get this reading out. Anyway, that retrograde of Neptune, and this full moon in Sag, I may do readings for those. I don't know if we're going to get actual daily readings done, but we'll definitely do readings for these certain planetary things, these happenings. Okay? Anyway, love you guys a bunch, and we do miss you. And Nell and I will come back and probably do some free readings every now and again. Right now, our path is very confusing and turned upside down. So hang in there with us. Talk to you later.